Hey Global Village, what's up? Okay, just a quick one today. I felt inspired to talk about politics and politicians and why I am completely disenfranchised with the whole concept of politics and political parties and how I just don't really believe in politicians anymore. Um, to give a specific example, I'll refer to what's happening in America, and specifically, I'll talk about the Democrats because I think they exemplify why I have come to despise politicians so much. So, the reality is, the Democrats have been captured by uh, large corporate interests and ultra wealthy elites for many, many decades. That is actually the reality. And the only thing that really differentiates the Democrats from the Republicans is pretty much in the way, well, at least the current form of Republicans, is the way in which they engage with their voter base. Uh, the Democrats continue to pursue the fine art of saying one thing and then doing another, which of course is just what politicians do, but it's become so overt, so obvious, and so in your face that it really looks more like an insult to your voters' intelligence. And this is why the Democrats, I believe, have become so unpopular with their constituents, is because you can only continue to lie and say one thing and do another thing for so long before people just stop believing in you. They start feeling as if you're just patronizing them, as if you're just showing them contempt and looking down at them, which is exactly what they are doing and is what politicians have been doing for a very long time. But as people continue to wise up to it, and as they start to believe less and less the things that they've been told, because they continually comparing them to what's actually being done, and they see that in fact the Democrats have been continuing to empower and enrich large corporations and ultra wealthy globalists, they lose faith. And the result is you get a demagogue like Donald Trump coming into power because he's a populist and because he just taps into people's racism, people's fear, people's lack of understanding and comprehension about what's really going on in the world. And things just continue to deteriorate. Uh, so, I mean, if I were to just talk about here in New Zealand, for example, I think the perfect example is the deafening silence when it comes to the genocide in Israel. Because not only is it the National Party and its coalition who's saying absolutely nothing about the genocide, it is also true of the opposition party. None of the opposition parties are taking what I would say would be pretty obvious advantage of public sentiment and making statements about the horrors in Palestine. No, they aren't saying anything either because they don't want to create a rod for their back were they to actually then come into power and then actually have to do something. That would be one step too far. That would be like the way uh, Donald Trump and many of his backers continually harped on about the Epstein list and how they were going to get to the bottom of it and they were going to do a reveal all. And now it's like, Epstein list? What Epstein list? And that has caused them some genuine trouble. Most politicians are smart enough to know where to draw the line and what promises it is not smart to make. And clearly, promising to criticise a genocide is one step too far, even for these chameleon, shape-shifting creatures that we tend to describe as politicians. Anyway, I hope I've made my contempt for the whole political sphere apparent, and this has been the art.